The future of journalism then, and talking about the future of journalism, I don't think you can get away from technology and AI. How do you think that that's going to impact you? I mean, do you ever see a moment in time where AI is actually writing your stories, AI is editing your stories, or is it going to impact us differently in the journalistic journey?
I take inspiration from photography's influence on art. We have that moment as photography blossoms where there's like a lot of journal writing that's like, I guess this is the end of painting because these machines can get a photorealistic image of a person. Why would they sit with me for hours for a portrait? And the narrative becomes, oh, what happens is Impressionism happens. We kind of like zag as a people. We say, all right, I guess we don't necessarily have to do portrait. Instead, what happens is our art forms change. And if you do a portrait, you're signaling something else. You're signaling that I have the time or the money to do a portrait. It's a different thing. So as a rule, technology doesn't change the core needs we have as people. They change the expression of those needs. And so artificial intelligence, even if it's overhyped, which in my sense it is, like I in no way expect an AGI future in the next handful of years. I do not believe it. I've spoken to a lot of entrepreneurs and technologists who have sold me a lot of things over the years. And I think the hype is more than anything. But I already employ it in my journalistic practice. Of course it's going to be implemented. I do more map this to kind of internet age, which was meaningful. Like there were productivity gains once the systems caught up. It did impact society. So I believe all of that's true. Yep. And I do expect that moment. So artificial intelligence already plays a role with information gathering. The question is going to be, what will we want from our information providers? I do worry that at our core, all of us want to be told that we are aggrieved, we are correct, and someone else is keeping us from our true success. That is like the tribalism that is coded on us. And so we desperately want information providers to tell us that. And we all now have access to the ability to be told we are aggrieved, we are right, and someone else is against us. That's very worrying to me because it's what we want.
Yeah.
It's not, oh, that company is doing it to us. We want that. So I believe we should care a lot about the models that inform us, and we should think critically about who is doing it and why. I think we all should want to be told things that annoy us sometimes. I think if we go through our day seeking frictionless experiences, we miss out on life and we get more unhinged from reality. So I think we want a trade of people. We don't have to use the word journalist, but some of us might, whose calling is supposed to be kind of annoying sometimes. Hey, this is a thing that may not comport to your existing worldview. Hey, this is a thing that might complicate your understanding of the world. We get a lot wrong, but that trade, I think, is deeply important for a free and open society. It's a kind of self-correcting mechanism, and we've collapsed it.
There's almost a case or a path where the trade or the people going out truth-seeking and fact-seeking, creating this content becomes even more valuable as that then feeds into the AI models and that answers the questions as the dependency comes onto the LLMs and you're answering your question rather than going to Google. Where are the LLMs getting this information from? They're getting it from the trade.
Yes. In my particular trade of technology-oriented journalism, there's like this running joke of Uber spent $500 billion to make a taxi cab company, and Airbnb has spent $500 billion to make a hotel company, and the social platforms made $500 million more to make publications. One of the clearest failings we have in our understanding about how we get information right now is a false narrative that we removed the gatekeepers.
Yeah.
20th century American models information had a lot of problems with gatekeepers. That is true. But we traded one basket of gatekeepers for new gatekeepers. Every time you get on a social media platform, you are experiencing a gatekeeper. We just call it an algorithm and we hide the engineers in the back door, in the basement. But those are gatekeepers. They have to structurally make decisions about what information you'll be provided. That's what a newspaper editor was. We changed nothing about that. We've ripped out some of the professional standards. We crushed some of the models. And I'm a creative destruction guy. I read my Joseph Schumpeter. Creative destruction has its place. And my trade was deeply hubristic and blind to the systems. So unfortunately, there are barbarians in the gate, and the barbarians were right. And we are in the midst. So I often blame my trade first, that we had it coming, and we've now been exposed to the impacts of it.
So, future of journalism, the optimistic outlook. Where do we look for optimism?
I believe we seek out authentic stories about our world, the complexity. We are always trying to understand the noisy, overwhelming environment that moves faster than we can process on our own. Like, we use story to simplify systems that are too complex for us to ever understand. So we seek that out. We see bright lights. What we are right now calling creators or influencers are incredible. I see this whole class of creators that take information stewardship very seriously. I often find people on the platforms who wouldn't ever identify as journalists, but are clearly doing journalistic work. I actually think my trade needs to do more to say, hey, we actually have some solutions for the problems you're going to confront. You're going to get things wrong and need to know how to navigate that. You're going to have to pull something or not, and want to be able to have a transparent dialogue with your audience. Like, there's a whole mess of best practices that our trade has figured out over a few centuries. I want us to gather what is flourishing in how people are solving their information needs with a trade of best practices we can know. We will give high quality information out to communities. It's going to depend on how much we want to hear it.
Yeah. If you could go back to 2009 or speak to somebody wanting to get into journalism, what would you say to them?
Anyone who cares about independent information provision should love email. By which I mean, email. I'm aware that we're putting on this culture of email as boring and stressful and taxing. It is the only wide-scale distributed media platform we have. No one corporation owns your ability to download email addresses and bring it somewhere else. So, as nerdy as that is, it's like my honest answer. Like, that is free, distributed, independent platform. It's not owned by a publicly traded company. All hail email. Okay. So I would say, defend the culture of email. Do not disparage email. It does not have a marketing department, which is why it gets clowned on. But it's the platform we want to distribute information because we can do it across communities. And so I would say, speak to the people you want to serve, do it as honestly and authentically as you can, and do it on a distributed media platform like electronic mail, and defend it for as long as you can.